Today we're covering the fried liver attack, an extremely dangerous chess opening for white that, especially if you're a beginner or intermediate chess player, can give you quick and easy wins left and right. If you're over 2,000, I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're going to get a lot of easy wins with it because your opponents probably know what they're doing against this kind of theory. But especially if you're a beginner player, the fried liver attack is a ton of fun. And this has been played at the master and grandmaster level. This is a sound opening option for white. And I'm actually going to be showing you, no matter what level you're at, even if you're, an advanced over 2,000 rated player, I'm going to be showing you an 18 move line that you should memorize no matter what level you're at, and you're going to be in good shape. But first off, what is the fried liver attack? Well, we're starting out with e4, playing knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. This is an Italian game. And if something like bishop c5 here, this is a very common move. We're in a Giuoco Piano. We can play this move of b4 with Evan's Gambit. We can play the main line. We can play the Giuoco Pianissimo, we can play castling kingside, we can play knight c3. A lot of great options there, a lot of great moves. If knight f6, again, a lot of options here that you can go with. I often play this move upon to d3, but knight g5 here is something I've also played over the years, and it's a ton of fun. And if your opponent's never seen this before, they might just think they're dead lost. And honestly, there's only a couple moves that aren't dead lost for black. Okay, I mean, bishop c5 is one of them, surprisingly enough. Bishop c5 here with the Traxler counter attack. What I would recommend to you here is just take with the bishop. I know knight takes is tempting, but capturing off the bishop, bringing this bishop right back, this is a good way to go about it, okay? But going back to knight g5, d5 here, this is considered to be the best move, objectively speaking. And against this, we're going to capture back with the e-pawn. Now, if black captures with the knight, we're winning. You're winning this game. And this is a very human move. Very human move there. Just take the pawn back, right? I mean, don't we have a knight and a queen there? But in this case, we have knight takes f7, forking the queen and the rook. And if you capture back with the king, which is really your only choice or option that's any good, queen f3 would check. Now we're checking your king. We're double attacking this knight. We're down a piece for a pawn, but look, if you bring your king back to e8, for example, well, then we just get our material back and some. And if king e6, which is the best move, we have knight c3. We are tripling up on that knight. If knight e7, we can play d4. Right, break this game open. If e takes d4, there's a lot of things we can do here. Knight takes d5 is great. Bishop f4 is a really good move as well. And look, the whole idea here is, look, you can take all you want. You can take again. You're up. Black's up 7 points material. We don't care. We don't care. You know why? Black has a king on e6. The bishop on c4, very active. Bishop on f4, very active. The queen on f3, fantastic. This rook on d1 is great. Our only non-active piece right now, well, I guess we could say our king's not active like black's is, but it's not the end game, so that's a good thing. But our only non-active piece in terms of attacking chess is this rook on h1, and we're very quickly going to bring this rook to e1. I mean, black's getting blasted right now. Black's not going to make it out of this. So, yeah, I mean, knight c3 is the way to go there. Now, knight b4 is the best move according to the engine. In this case, d4 is not the best option because black can take with check. So here I kind of like just castling kingside, getting the heck out of there. Knight takes c2 is just not going to work. We have too much pressure on that knight on d5. And if something like c6, we can play d4. If queen f6, let's drop this queen back. Keep playing fun, aggressive, attacking chess. Your opponent has a king on e6. It's just a fun opening overall. Now going back to e takes c5, here the main move that we see all the time at the professional level is knight a5. And in this case, this is where you want to start memorizing, okay? Bishop b5 would check. c6, we capture. And now we play bishop d3. What the heck is that about? Like, why would we do this? Well, I think the point of that is that if h6, our knight doesn't have to run back to h3. We don't have to run back to f3 where that knight could keep getting kicked around. We have knight e4 because the bishop supports it, right? Knight takes e4, the bishop captures back, and we actually have a better game here, and we're up in material, which, is pretty cool. Going back to bishop d3, even here, again, we're up upon a material. It's kind of interesting. We played the fried liver attack. We're ready to give up all this material, but black's best refutation is to actually stay down material from their side of things. Now, in this case, knight d5, knight f3. I sometimes wonder how, if you look at the professional level, how every game for like 18 moves is nearly identical, like literally, like move for move all the way up to move 18. My guess is that players just go to Stockfish and they look up the best line and they memorize it, and then everyone starts playing that. That's my guess. But okay, I mean, here black, bishop d6, good move here, right? Developmental move. In this case, both sides should think about castling. Knight f4 here is an option that black can play, in which case we have knight c3 there, just continuing to develop. A lot of players go with castling, though. Rook e1, putting pressure on that pawn, and now f5. So many players go with this that's just not a human move, at least for me. I mean, I'm not just going to give up my pawn, but it turns out that queen f6 here, knight f3, pawn to g5, black going crazy here. c4 is a move that we can go with, and if knight f4, we can bring our bishop back to f1. If g4, we can play d4 advancing in the center. Again, what the heck are we doing? It's just one of those crazy stockfish lines. We can get blasted very quickly. And by the way, here, if you did want to save your knight, you can't. Your knight's kind of done. So we play d4 after capturing off. We're now sitting at even material. We got 3 pawns for a piece. And yeah, if knight e6, which is the way for black to go here, we can play queen to c3. In that case, if black takes on d4, right, there's always a reason why these moves are bad. In this case, we can play bishop d2, attacking the knight with bishop c3 ideas on the way. And yeah, it turns out that black's position falls apart there. Black is losing this game. Okay, but again, going back to queen c3 there, if knight takes d4, you know, this is one move here that can happen. In that case, we can play c5, play b4. If that knight wants to run away, okay, bishop b2, and we're winning this game. Okay, so there's a lot of ways. This is a very sharp opening. There's so many ways that either side can mess it up. Yeah, it just takes, you know, a little bit of studying. I really do recommend memorizing that 18 move line. Once you do, you're going to be in good shape. And really the nice thing is with that, sure, like maybe your opponent at some point in there, they play something else than the 18 moves they should. Of course, the first couple moves, there's a lot of things they can go with, but you know, oftentimes if you memorize a line like that, a very long line that the engine likes, that master grandmaster player, you know, players go with, and your opponent doesn't play it, you know they messed up. You know they messed up. Now you're not cheating, you're not looking at the engine, but you know that they went away from the main line, so you know that there's probably an opportunity there to take the lead, which is huge. Chess isn't just about finding the right move, it's about knowing when to find the right move. It's about knowing when to push for that win, right? That can go a long way. So again, this is what I recommend you guys memorize. I do leave PGNs to my Patreon supporters on Patreon if you guys are interested in the PGNs. But yeah, e5 in this case, we have knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, okay, knight g5, boom. This is kind of where it starts. d5, this is the main line. You go all the way through this, right? This is what we see all the time. Your opponent probably doesn't know this, but it doesn't hurt to have it memorized. Again, that knight there, right? Our knight just can't go anywhere, but we can play d4, take the 3 pawns for the piece, and finish out like so. Now, queen c3 is really where it ends there. There's quite a few moves. This is kind of where black starts to make all these different decisions. If you look at the professional level, we see knight b7 quite a bit. We see queen h4 quite a bit. We see knight takes d4 quite a bit. I'm just going to stop it here because I seriously doubt many of you are going to get to this position because how many black players know the theory up to move 18? But you might, right? So memorize it up to here. Let me know what you think of the fried liver attack. Let me know if you play the fried liver attack, what your rating is. You know, my impression is that if you're a beginner player, you can wipe players with this all the time. And I personally have met a lot of chess players that tell me I keep getting wiped by the fried liver attack. How do I stop it? How do I stop letting this happen? I keep getting fried by the fried liver and I can't stop it. Right? I mean, and it is hard. I mean, how the heck are you going to find all these moves if you don't know the theory? I couldn't. There's no chance. No chance at all. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, it would mean a ton to me and my family if you could hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell, just so that you don't miss out on anything coming your way. I also wanted to give a big shout out to my Patreon supporters for the month of November in 2024. There's some exclusive benefits that you gain by becoming a member, and if you do decide to become one, I look forward to seeing you over there on the platform. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.